Do you know how hard it is to be a bartender, though? Can you imagine switching places with a bartender on a really busy night? It's like, it looks kind of awful.
I worked in the restaurant industry, yes.
Were you a bartender?
No, but at one point I worked a grill with one of those tall chef hats.
Yeah,
I was glassed in, and I was the busboy, and I washed dishes all at the same time. It was like a fucking Carol Burnett sketch. Mm-hmm. The restaurant was going out of business, and initially I was just the busboy, and then a dishwasher, and then they had this guy working the grill. And I remember he quit or got fired. He used to just get hammered and drive. He had a van, and he used to just, like, restaurant people.
That's the restaurant business.
Are fucking nuts, right? And this guy used to drive this van, and he came in one day and just had like this fucking, like somebody just took a belt and diagonally smacked him across his forehead. And what happened was he was driving home to his parents' house, and he pulled in. He was so shit-faced. He either hit one of their cars or the tree, and when his head went to slam against the windshield, the visor was down a little bit, and he, like, bent it. No, it was one of those old-school, like, metal ones.
Yeah.
He bent it with his head, which was probably traveling a good 25 miles an hour when he hit it. And so anyways, he got fired, so then they had me...
flipping burgers,
shrimp brochettes and that type of shit. No, I think I became a dishwasher and the busboy.
What's a shrimp brochette?
It was just like a bacon wrapped shrimp that was then seasoned, and so I would fucking set up the tables, and the lunch rush would come in, which wasn't much of a rush. We were going out of business, but I would be sitting there cooking shit, trying to look suave, like this was this fancy fucking place, which it wasn't because I was on the grill. And I was sort of eyeballing the lunchroom, waiting for people to finish. And as I saw people finishing up, I would sort of casually duck down where they couldn't see me, like below the grill, like I was, getting more food or something. And I would pop up, and my apron would be off. I had the bow tie, the whole busboy thing on underneath the apron, and I'd take the hat off, and I would run out there.
Oh, my God.
I would bust the table, bring the dishes back, rinse them, set them up, and then I would run back, flip the fucking burger, and then go back out and set the table in case somebody else came out.
Oh, my God.
And then I would go back. Yeah, I ended up burning a guy's hand. Because from the stress. I remember I made a burger. I've told this story before. I made this fucking burger. There was this kid, Jason, this Metallica fan. I've told this story before, but I already started. If you're new to the podcast, I'll tell it to you. So anyways, I'm working the Sable Cafe in Cary, North Carolina. It's 1987 going into 88. All right? I probably just got done seeing Tesla opening up for, it was either Aerosmith on the Permanent Vacation Tour, or it was Def Leppard on the Hysteria Tour. Remember Joe Elliott wore those acid wash ripped pants the entire tour and through all of the videos? You know? He went Jim Morrison, where Jim Morrison wore the same leather pants. He wore the same acid-washed, ripped fucking jeans. You know, and I'll tell you this right now, the man knows how to pack. All right. Plowing ahead. By the way, I always heard Jim Florentine really knows how to pack. Dropping his name twice in this podcast. I always heard he's one of those guys goes away for 3 weeks and he'll show up with like a knapsack and like a cheese sandwich in a brown paper bag, and he's just fucking good. I'd like to be more like that. There, I can admit that. I'm old enough now to say I'd like to be more like Jim Florentine. Anyway, so I'm working the Sable Cafe. So how it works is I'm glassed in, right? And right behind me is that little window, and behind the window is the kitchen, right? And there's the line. So this order comes in. They're like, this guy Jason's like, order up for a burger, right? So I'm like, all right, one burger coming up, So I'm supposed to look at the order. And if there's a lot of shit on the line, if they got basically a bunch of entrees to make, I hold off on the burger so we can time it all out so it's all ready. I wasn't thinking because I'm bussing tables and washing dishes while not washing my hand. Total health code violation, right? I shouldn't have said that now that I said the name of the restaurant, but it's all gone anyways. So I just start making this burger. So, because I'm watching the table, like I got to finish this burger because I got to go bust that fucking table and then throw some dishes into the fucking dishwasher. By the way, I also mopped the whole fucking oyster bar and clean out both bathrooms before I fucking start. Brutal, right? And so I just start making the burger. I put it on a plate, and I'm like, Jason, burger up. And he turns around and looks at me, and he's got his heavy metal hair shoved up into his chef hat, and he was one of those guys that grew a mustache before he could grow one. And he just looks at me. He's like, dude, what the fuck? I got like 7 entrees here. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, so just fucking put it on the grill. To put it to the side of the grill. So I grabbed it with tongs, It was a glass plate, and I just set it basically on the grill, but underneath the burner that was off. But just basically, it's a mesquite grill, so it's hot because the burner 2-3 over is hot. And it's all the same piece of metal, so it's basically hot, but not piping hot. Okay, but it's still fucking pretty hot. So I go out and I bust a fucking table, right? And I wash some dishes, and I come in, and all of a sudden I got all these other orders for chicken sandwiches and brochettes, and I leave the burger there. I'm not even fucking thinking. So Jason finally finishes the fucking entrees, and he looks, he just goes, Burr, what's up with that burger? And I just grabbed it with the tongs, and he has both his hands out to receive this thing. And I just set it right down in his hands, and he just goes, ah! And fucking spun around and like basically threw it down on like the wood fucking shelf that he had there, and was immediately not in the window. So the whole fucking like dining room heard this muffled scream and and then looked my way. And by the time they looked, I was just standing there, and I tried to keep a straight face. I didn't really burn it bad. He just made this face before he yelled. It was like his brain was registering what the fuck was happening. And with his fucking hair pushed up in his hat and that stupid mustache that really wasn't a mustache, dude, I fucking ducked down and for like 7 straight minutes was like crying, laughing. I was laughing so hard. I remember he wasn't even mad at me because he was trying to be mad, but I was laughing so hard he started laughing. And, then I had to run out and go bust all that stuff. So, yeah, hey, how about a pat in the back for myself for actually remembering to finish that story?